Hello everybody, I'm Rome the Pacifist. Welcome to my channel one more time. Today I wanted to make another general analysis of the happenings on the Black Acres of the Gambia. My technical opinion, of the project moving forward without Solomon and with the new contractor. What I think first is that I know Rick and Cynthia want to get this project done certain ways. They want to have, like they say in French, they want to have les points sur les i. Means when you write the letter I, you got to make sure you put a point on it. But it's not, it's important. But I feel like the symbolic aspect of that house is just as important as the technical aspect of it, and they should be able to balance both. Because sometimes your first car is not always going to be, your first car rarely is the best car you ever had. So that first house might not, they shouldn't expect it to be like the best house they've ever had. It is going to come along. Houses could be modified. And I know that one of the big reasons why they decided to fire Solomon was because supposedly some of the mansion were smaller than they thought. My real opinion of that is that when you want to put a foundation, when you want to put up a foundation, first of all, you lay down, you lay down like strings, which basically show how big each room is going to be. So I'm sure if Rick said that he was on the land every time, he would have seen that. Not only that, they got to come and dig it. And when they dig it, as per dimension, and the foundation itself is just taking the bricks up to the next level, so they would have seen it all along for all this time. But my opinion is basically that I know that Rick and Cynthia went off on the size of the bathroom, that it was too small and that jacuzzi and the bathtub couldn't fit in there. But I think what they could do is put an extra foundational room over there. Basically they could just build like a foundation, basically an extra foundation, like a foundation right next to that other foundation, and that would be right by the bathroom where the bathroom was supposed to be. Supposedly it's small. Do this before taking the wall up, and just create like an alley, like an opening, just an opening that would lead them to a bigger room that would be a little bit outside of the house. You could do this. People do that all the time. That's how you augment. That's how you make buildings bigger. You add to it. You modify. You can modify a building the way you modify a car. Because if you go right now and you say you want to, if this go right now and say they want to make that bathroom just bigger off the original architectural plan, because I don't understand why they thought that Rick could have just changed things on that architecture, that Solomon could just change things off that architectural plan. You can't just change it like that. It creates a domino effect. You make one room small, for one room to be smaller, other room got to be bigger. For one room to be bigger, other rooms will have to be smaller. So my advice to them would be to create an extra foundational room. Just create a foundation right next to the foundation, parallel, right next to the bathroom. There would be an opening there, so they could use the original bathroom that they say was smaller, and just use it as a walk-in place to hang stuff and do some other conveniences. And then the extra room that is going to be right behind the foundation, they could put a jacuzzi there, and they can make it to the size of their desire. I think that's one thing that they could have done. I can make my own general assessment of the new contractor. He appears to be somebody of complete opposite from Solomon. He appears soft and tend to want to please Rick and Cynthia, and I don't think this is to the benefit of the Baggs family. I believe that the Baggs family do well with somebody of similar character. These are people of strong character, strong nature. Rick is a strong man. Cynthia is a strong woman. That's why they both get along so well. And if they're working with a soft person, they could dominate that person very quick. The new contractor, you already see when he's speaking, I understand English is not his original language. You see he's kind of like cutting off and things like that. The body language is telling me that he's somebody that can collapse under the Black Acres of the Gambia's pressure. Like they could put pressure on him and he basically collapse under that pressure and start doing a whole bunch of bullshit and start maybe using the wrong bricks just to please them, the wrong it could be the wrong size of plumbing just to save money, and finally, and that's what happened when you're dealing with somebody that want to please and finally pull out something that looked like a pretty decent house, and eventually the bags are not very satisfied at the end, you know. But the choice already done. Solomon is gone, the new dude is in. So that's one opinion that I would have, is for them to have an extra foundational room to extend the bathroom and not trying to make that bathroom bigger just off the original architectural plan, because it would just creates a domino effect on the architecture. Everything get thrown off, you know, from support posts that are going to be laid, which are supposed to be laid in certain patterns. Those patterns get thrown out. A lot of things got thrown out. So really, Solomon, you can't just, you know, like you can't just take a blueprint and start crossing a whole bunch of stuff on it and build what you think works. No, you gotta consult, you know, with the original engineer and so on and so forth. So that's my opinion of the new contractor and then their way moving forward. So my opinion simply was that the back house is more than just a house. It is gonna be a place of pilgrimage. I just kind of thought about this. It is gonna be the place of pilgrimage for a lot of people of the diaspora coming over to visit, you know. So I would say that it would be a good idea to focus on that aspect of their house more than trying to build like an American standard house out there in the Gambia, you know. I wrote down a few stuff over here I want to look at. Yeah, so I was gonna say that the plumbing and everything could then be connected from the extra room that they could create outside. The plumbing can then just be drawn back to the original main plumbing, you know, main drain and water lines. Yeah, so I think, I don't know if I wrote down anything else here. Yeah, I just wanted to say also that so some of the body language of the new contractor that made me say that he might collapse under their pressure and that he's not, you know, he might not be of the same strong nature as the Bag family is. You know, when the dude is talking, they could barely understand. He's mixing a lot of things at the same time, and Rick, you know, is just over there like, oh, you know, I mean, you see Rick is literally towering over the poor dude. And he's asking all these questions, and some of these questions are vague and not too technically driven. Rick is trying to read the blueprint, so which is a good thing. It don't hurt to look at the stuff. But yeah, you know, as you know, as the dude is talking, as the contractor is talking, Sweet Juicy Mama is like laughing at him, you know. So this whole thing is, I feel like it's just not starting right, but it could be done. When I look at that contractor, he appeared to be somebody who built all this type of stuff, you know. And if I was him, I was trying to be stern. If I was somebody building somebody, see, I work for people a lot, so I could read a person, a customer, in like a few seconds. In a few minutes. You know, I would be stern. I would be stern with Rick. I would be stern with Sweet Juicy Mama. I'd be stern with the Bag family, because it would serve their interest. It's like sometimes you have a kid and you know, okay, this one of my kid, like I have to be stern with him or her, and that's what will benefit them eventually, because you don't just want to tell them what they want to hear, you know. So, but anyways, I wish them very good luck. May they get the project done, and may the Bags you know, territory, the Bags territory, Bags land, may Bags land become a pilgrimage, you know, not just for those going to Gambia specifically, but going to Africa to stop over there and get some blessing from. I believe that the Bag family has the type of energy that they could use to achieve great things. To me, I feel like the Bag family attracting a lot of investment to Gambia. Let's be honest, they're really putting the Gambia on the map. You look, when Aunt Kathy left, people are still talking about the Gambia, but not that much. It helps to have people talk about a specific place, because it helps draw investment in. it helped people keep that place in mind when it comes down to investment. When our Kathy left, Gambia kind of went down a few notches in terms of popularity. So if the Bags were to leave, Gambia will go down another notch, probably quite far down, because they really the one like keeping Gambia on that map. So when you get like a great Black American investor here in the US that want to do something in Africa, he think, oh, the Bags were doing this, I like what they're doing, but now I think this is where I could improve on it a little bit. Okay, now having said this, here is really my opinion of what could happen in the Gambia. If like, let's say if I was a big business in the Gambia, the Bags family have a lot of following. They really they are a free commercial for Gambia. If I was a big company in the Gambia, I would personally sponsor the completion of their project. I would financially sponsor it and build it for them. And just because of the service that they bring into the Gambia, the fact that they're telling the world about the Gambia, they're telling the world, and you're gonna see the tourists. A lot of people right now, when they think of going to Africa, they consider Gambia. You know, nobody's considering Cameroon, where I'm from. Why? Because it's not on the map like that. It's under the map for now. You know, maybe people go over there and make videos also. Nope. You know, you're not seeing people trying to go to places like Angola to build, but these are all great countries. You know, you're not seeing people go to some of these other countries and trying to build. People are not going to Ethiopia and trying to carry out some of these projects. And these are all great countries. People are choosing the Gambia because thanks to people like the Bags, and I know there's a few people over there, the Black Sits, and you know, and so on and so on. And even our Kathy, I don't really believe that she's all 100% bad like people thought. She has good aspect of them. She has good aspect of her. So she definitely is somebody that would not be easy to live with. You know, close quarters, very hard to live, even with people. If people are even 80% nice and the rest of 20% is at that level of, you know, anger, it could be a little hard to deal with. So because I'm seeing our Kathy was talking today about she's trying to promote like dental tourism to the Gambia, and that's a good idea. I always look at the person and trying to see the positive, you know, not always the negative. She's trying to do like people that want to do dental work and they might not have a lot of money, they could go to the Gambia to get their crown done, you know, to get their tooth extraction and so on and so forth. And that's a good thing. I know she did talk about a lot of the tiny house concept, container out of containers. Those are all good ideas. So you know, they put in maps, they put in Gambia on the map, because even by African standard, Gambia is in the boondocks. Gambia is in the middle of nowhere. It's that one country that every once in a while you might see them at the African soccer championship. But you know, the people like the Bags, a lot of Afro-Americans have literally made Gambia look big, like Gambia's the big dog of Africa, when in fact most Africans can't point Gambia on the map at all. But now the world is pointing Gambia on the map. So if I was the government there, and I'm one of those people, I don't really like to talk about the government gotta do this, government gotta do that. Government ain't gotta do shit. I mean, because when you talk government, you're talking regular people that are coming from, the general population like us. And many of these governments are corrupted because the culture itself is corrupted. Because government official, where do they come from? They're not aliens. They were raised by the neighborhood. And if the neighborhood is corrupted, they're gonna come out corrupted itself. When somebody come out of a bad neighborhood, they tend to be troublesome. Not all of them, but they tend to be. Those coming from good neighborhood tend to be more productive. Not all of them, but that's the tendency. So I don't really like to say that the government should do this. If I say the government should do this, I believe the people should be changing. Because the government culture tends to be the reflection of the general culture. So in this way, if I was the Gambian government, I would actually sponsor the construction of the Bags family house. It's the most popular It might not be the biggest construction project in the Gambia, but I bet you that it is the most known construction project in the Gambia, that the world know about the Gambia. Now there's that house with a good dude, good strong dude, sometimes a little salty, got his own way, and a strong woman, sometimes a little salty, got her own little way, but good people. I really believe they're good people. You know, could be salty, good and salty, depend on which side you want to be on. I guess that would depend on how you act around them, right? So I guess I will use this video as an opportunity to also call on the Gambian state, if you can, to kind of look like, okay, if you really want to support the diaspora and you want the diaspora to be living good, show to the diaspora that if the diaspora was to come and was on its knees, you will assist. Because if the diaspora agreed to come to Africa and help Africa almost without demanding any profit, Africa, when possible, should be able to do a little something for the diaspora. When the diaspora is down, there could be like a diaspora support fund. So when somebody, let's say a black person from America goes to Africa to invest, and eventually, let's say it doesn't work, they could tap into that fund to help him maybe go back to the US if he or she chooses to. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. People act like if they go to Africa and start a project, it doesn't work, you know, it's a problem. No, it's okay. How many jobs you didn't have in your whole life? I'm sure you didn't have so many jobs in your life. And some of them you got fired, some of them you quit, but you still here. It's okay to fail as long as you're learning from your failure to become a better person in the future. So this project, so that's what I think Africa could do for its diaspora. And I'm not just talking about just, you know, I'm not just talking about Black America. I'm talking the diaspora in Europe. I'm talking about recent African immigrants abroad, because man, really, African immigrants be sending money home like crazy. You got people there calling every day is a funeral. People calling at 3 in the morning, because a lot of time when it's like 3 p.m. in Africa, it could be like 10, you know, it could be like 9 a.m. here. But quite often people from Africa will call like at 8 in the morning, and it'd be like 2 in the morning here. So a lot of people straight out of Africa, you know, I feel like the government down there could put a diaspora support fund where Black Americans, I don't mind, Black Brazilians, recent migrants abroad could tap into that fund to help themselves when they get low. To me, it appears that Rick is definitely falling low financially, because since they've been in the Gambia for 4 years, they never had a real job. Okay, it's very hard to live, even if it's not a wealthy country, even if it's a low income country, it's very hard to live without a job. And I'm seeing a lot of people moving to Africa and they don't really have a business plan. Now they talk about a few business plans that people could really take over there and try, because I live and grew up in Africa and came here when I was 15 when I came here, but I started making money at the age of 6, so I kind of know the ins and outs of Africa. I still help people with small business in Africa, and I did talk about some of them. I will be making more videos about them. I did talk about the hardware business. I did talk about a dry cleaning business, and I talk about refrigeration business for like a freezing and conserving food. So yeah, that's my analysis of the whole situation. I believe that the Bag family could put like an extra room right next to the bathroom that's already there, instead of modifying the original architectural plan. And also that they shouldn't try to just get that house perfect, because this house is going to be the house they learn from on how to get down and build in the Gambia. The second one might be better. They might even sell that whole property to another diaspora and that want to take it to another level. Who knows, like an athlete might be watching it right now. I think like Meek Mill did say he wanted to go to Africa. What if somebody like Jay-Z want to buy it now for $1 million and use it as his vacation spot and turn it into a whole vacation thing? These are the people that should really be leading, like, should be leading transformation in Africa, not just for Africa, but really for the benefit of the diaspora. I mean, you see a lot of these superstars out here want to brag about the type of women that they can, you know, that they can bed. They want to talk about how they could just spend $1 million like that. And you don't even see where this money be going. I'm like, with $1 million, you could put a hotel by the beach in the Gambia, and this ain't no charity. You could cash in on that. You could put man, Jay-Z and all these artists, athletes of African descent could put a hotel. You could control. I really believe Black America, because you just have that gift. You have that gift when it comes to like the hospitality, the modern stuff like music, in entertainment. Black America could control that. Literally, I could walk down the street of a black neighborhood in America and look left and right, and I'm seeing potential music superstars that if they go to Africa, that's how the talent here is. So like the average rapper or singer in Black America could be a superstar in Africa. And I tell one of the brother I work, he be rapping, and I'm like, man, like, what you doing in this shop? You could be doing so big. So you know, I would tell Rick, don't trying to get it too perfect. Get it decent enough for your family. Because if you're trying to take too much time, you know, you might end up having to rent another place. You might run low, because right now it's all about settling down your mind by having a place to stay. Having a place to stay peacefully, it will allow you to think of your future endeavors, you know. So yeah, that's my assessment of today. I didn't have time in a few days, you know, few past days I didn't really have time to drop my videos, you know. My videos are going to be concerning many different topics. I won't just be talking about Black Acres of the Gambia. I will be talking about many things. So this really is, how to say, a multi-topic channel. And one more time, thank you for watching my channel. And again, I hope you guys start talking about this, where really Africa could put a diaspora support fund to help the diaspora. Like when you go to Africa, maybe with $50,000 and things don't work your way, the government could give you a little something. That's what the government here in the United States does. The government here in the United States has a federal backup reserve. So when banks fail, they know the government will come and kind of back them up, so things don't just scatter all over. And this gives confidence in banks to operate more. It gives them that market confidence. You know, that's what Africa got to do. Because, you know, a lot of time you get Africans out here like from who leave the continent, come here, and they're working to death. But if they get, let's say they get deported over there. They're walking around in African flip-flops. And this is a dude that's saying, these are people who sent millions, billions in Africa, but there's really no support for them when they go back. Some of them go back and get locked up. So they're really, so if Africa want to talk about how the diaspora gotta help, Africa gotta help too. Africa can't play no baby. That's why when I see people go over there, they just say they want to help. They want to, if you just want to help, that's a problem. You should go there and try to better yourself through serving Africa. And Africa should try to better itself through serving you. It should be a mutual thing. It shouldn't be a man versus boy type of stuff, or dad versus son. It should be partnership. So I think people should start talking a little bit more about that, you know, a kind of a support fund that Africa could put really to help its diaspora. I just don't want any Black American to go to Africa when they go broke. Let's take the example of somebody like ES from the Eat Love Margaret channel. If she was to go broke, I would love to see some sort of a fund and say, okay, ES, you're on your knees now. Here's a little money for you to, maybe you try, it didn't work, but at least we could pay for a flight for you back to your family, and maybe $5,000 something to restart life in America until next time. Africa doesn't have that right now, and I think that's a problem. You know, a lot of other countries, you look at countries like Israel, they always got fundings to support their descendant. All over a lot of the Jewish groups got these support. In the Middle East, like Arabs, they got these support groups. The Chinese, all these Chinese that live here in the US, they get funding from their government for a lot of the businesses, like support. I'm not saying the government give them everything, but sometimes they get training. How do you think like a lot of these guys from like Asia come here? Their kids are born and raised over here, and the kids speak Chinese. A lot of times because they have Chinese sponsored schools for learning their language. So that's why Africa really got to do it. If Africa want to be big, it's about time that Africa start doing some big dog shit, man. Africa got to really start doing some big dog shit. Can't be that, we really can't be saying we want to be big and we down for some weak ass shit. You know what I'm saying? We really got to be doing some big dog shit, like support the diaspora aspect. Because I'm just feeling that energy coming from the diaspora, like the diaspora really trying to do something out of love. And I know Black America does one thing very well. When Black America hates you, Black America hates you hard. When Black America loves you, Black America loves you hard. And right now, I'm seeing a lot of love coming from Black America, to Africa. And I would love to see Africa not just replicate in terms of saying, welcome home. I would like to see Africa say, welcome home through practical means. Set up the diaspora support funds. Let's say somebody go to Ghana with $50,000. The Ghanaian government or central bank could have like a diaspora support fund, and it's not just for Black America, it's for Ghanaians abroad also. I'm saying, hey, look, you come here and you trying to set up, let's say, a modern fishing business where you're gonna be raising fish. I think they call it aquatic farming. You want to set it up, you say you got $50,000. If it doesn't work out, we will back you up by $20,000, $25,000. If it does not work, hey, we give you 20, and you feel like it didn't work, you just want to go back to doing whatever. Here's $25,000. Thank you for trying to make thank you for trying to make our country a better place. Or a place like Cameroon, where I'm from. Let's say somebody leaves Cameroon and go to France or go to Canada trying to work to better life in his or her own country, and goes over there, raise the money in Canada, US, France, or why not, and then come back to Cameroon. I don't know, want to set up like a modern wood shop, because that's one thing I see that like in Africa. People say Africa is a jungle, meaning that's where all the wood is at. But people in Africa importing, I'm seeing people in Africa importing furniture from Dubai. You got all this wood and you importing furniture from a desert. That makes no sense, and that's why people don't respect Africa. How can you have all the wood and you importing furniture from a desert? You get a lot of that thing happening. So, let's say somebody from Cameroon go and work somewhere abroad, want to come back home and build like a modern woodworking facility, where Cameroon can start exporting cabinet, beds, and so on. The Cameroon government can have a diaspora support fund. Say, okay, you're willing to come with $200,000 and invest in this sector. You want to create, or maybe I'm sure there's people out there. Let's say a guy from Cameroon is a millionaire abroad, and he want to come and open a Home Depot style of a hardware store, because that's one thing that is missing in Africa. And you've seen the Black Acres of the Gambia, when they want to go get stuff, they got to go to this one store, get Reebok, leave over there, go to some place out in the middle of a slum, and then get a hammer, leave over there, drive way throughout the country just to get a little bag of cement. But if you had a Home Depot style of hardware store in the Gambia, that you could just walk over there and get everything you need for the construction. I even think that's what's slowing down Rick, poor guy. He don't know all the Gambia. So today he gotta go here and negotiate for cement. The next day he go over there. But if they had like a Home Depot style of hardware store in the Gambia, Rick knows I'm gonna go over there and all my stuff are gonna come out of there, and I could ask for technical advice. So let's say a millionaire from the diaspora. Like I said, there's a lot of rich people here in the US. For example, Black America is the wealthiest of our ancestry in terms of per capita. Africans might be wealthy in terms of total GDP, but that's because there's 1.2 billion Africans over there. 1.2 billion, that's like 45 million Black America. But in terms of per capita, Black America has more millionaires than in Africa. So Black Americans could take a few $1 million and set up that store, let's say in Cameroon. And if I'm the Cameroon government, I could have a diaspora support fund and say, okay, you're willing to bring, let's say $50 million. Okay, you're willing to bring $50 million for this project. Now, if it doesn't work and it really completely fail, I'm gonna give you $20 million. And we're cool. So that's my opinion for today, guys. I say I've just I had just trying to part out like a few times, but yeah, this time I don't want to talk more than I have to. You know, I like to make my words count, not just running my mouth. So with that, you all have a good weekend, you know, and we shall see another time. Bye.